Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying like I am. I am mind blown. I mean, how do women become so great? But anyway, um, let me first, before I introduce our other moderator, let me first mention that we are on this competition. So could you please, if possible, take a screenshot or maybe take a picture of you watching on the Zoom now, and also hashtag GIA as in Girls in Aviation 2021 on Instagram, and also tag African Leaders in Aviation. Yes. So now we will be having cabin crew to pilot from 11 o'clock to 11:30 with our moderator as Cody and our guest speaker is Precious Sibalo. Yes, so over to you, Cody.
So now we'll be talking, I think what I'm most excited about the segment, Cabin Crew to Pilot, it talks about leadership, how you take leadership about your life, the next level, where am I going from here? So now we'll be talking to Precious Balo. She was a cabin crew. She then became a private pilot, moved on to becoming a commercial pilot. She has a mentorship group. She has started an NGO, motivational speaking. How are you, Precious, and welcome?
Hi, Cody. How are you?
I'm great. So
Oh,
without
wow.
you look gorgeous. And
Thank you
just
so
before we
much.
carry on, Palisa, you did an amazing job. I was stressed. I'm like, who talks after Palisa, after moderating so beautifully? Thank you so much. And ladies, drones, airline, I can't even pick a favorite. And I guess that's the best thing about a platform like this, that just celebrating all kinds of women from diverse backgrounds. And now over to you, Precious. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, how you moved from cabin crew to becoming a commercial pilot.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped up. It's amazing. And secondly, I just want to commend, appreciate, and acknowledge African Leaders in Aviation for this amazing, amazing initiative. And secondly, just to say thank you to everyone who's watching from all across the world. We really appreciate, and thank you for making me a part of this.
It's an absolute pleasure. We're honored, Precious.
Yes, so my name is Precious. I was born and raised in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. During school holidays, I'll go and visit my grandparents in the remote areas, rural areas, take care of the field, help them take care of chicken, feed goats, you name it. I remember one day I was helping them and I decided to learn how to milk goats. So I chose this calm goat that didn't move and I just filled my cup. I was so excited and I said to my grandma, Mom, I filled the cup. She was like, yay, I'm so proud of you. When I stood up with that cup full of milk, the goat kicked it. Oh my God, that hurt. But I mean, all these experiences, being exposed to city life and rural areas life, I was molded into the person I am today. And I want to say thank you to my family for that. And yeah, so this is Precious. Yes.
That is such a funny story. After all the hard work you've done and the
Oh
good
my God.
but I guess
Yeah.
it was a life lesson in it, right?
Yeah, definitely. So being exposed to that background, made me who I am today. So I decided to be a pilot when I visited Joshua Mkabugo Nkomo International Airport, formerly known as Bulawayo Airport, on a school trip. We went there and we were amazed, intrigued by the operations at the airport and the aircraft's landing and taking off. To me, that was just amazing. And seeing pilots and the cabin crew, I saw female cabin crew, but I didn't see female pilots. And I found it, disturbing to an extent that when I got back to class, I asked my teacher, is it possible to be a pilot as a girl? She said, yeah, definitely. And there I was, my dream was born. And I said, I want to be a pilot against all odds. I want to challenge the status quo. And my journey began back in 2010. Cody, what I want to say before going to 2010 really is that I faced turbulence along the way, strong winds, I would say, thunderstorms, I would say. And when that happens as pilots, we don't let go of controls. We don't just give up. Instead, it's either we alter our heading, we climb, descend, or divert. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, yes, I faced challenges, but I ended up diverting. Look at me here. Back in 2010, I traveled to South Africa to look for a job. I was a waitress back in 2010 because things didn't go according to plan. At that moment, I had a child, I lost my mom, and we faced some financial challenges at home. The economy of the country was also in shambles. So I had to go to South Africa to look for a job. So this is back in 2010 as a waitress. So I remember this day, the weather was clear. Now we say cave okay, because now I know, but it was amazing. There was this helicopter company that landed in Stone Ridge Shopping Mall, and they took us for a scenery flight. I took about 1,200. Those were my tips for the day, but I paid so that I can go and experience the beauty of the skies, and my life was never the same, guys. From here, I worked, I think, for 2 more years, and I paid an agency, saved money, paid an agency, and relocated to Dubai, where I worked as a waitress for less than 3 months. While I was there, I relocated to Qatar because Qatar Airways came to Dubai to recruit. So I have another picture coming up. This was back in 2012 when I was graduating in Qatar Airways with my fellow batch mates. There's a picture of us as a group there during our graduation. It was an amazing experience. I mean, it's never too late to change your path. That's what I want to say to people. And you can use certain jobs as a stepping stone. I started off as a waitress, became a flight attendant, and then later on, here I am graduating back in 2010 in 43S school as a commercial pilot. We have another picture of me as a commercial pilot during my graduation. Guys, it wasn't easy, but with determination, prayer, hard work, and support from my family and friends, I am here today to tell you that if I did it, you surely can. Your dreams are valid. And what I'm currently doing is I am studying toward being a certified flight instructor so I can expand my knowledge in aviation. On my spare time, I'm a mentor on social media to aspiring pilots. I answer their questions, and most of them are curious. They are not exposed. And as well, I'm involved in charity works. As you can see here, I have celebrated 2 birthdays under restrictions imposed by COVID-19, and I traded my birthday gifts for food hampers, and I went to distribute near the school where I was studying in 43S school in the Eastern Cape. We reached out to over 100 families, and I go to orphanages, I visit all people's homes. It is my passion. Even before, when I was a cabin crew, I joined the group called Traveling with a Purpose. I urge you guys, I encourage you guys to use what you have for a cause as well. Reach out, touch lives, transform lives, dedicate your time, because charity isn't about just giving donations. It's also about rendering your services, your time. That's all I'm gonna say. And I thank God for where I am today, my family, and the support, the amazing support. I recently flew with my daughter. I had my daughter when I was young, but I flew with her. It was an amazing experience. We went to the general flying area. She was fascinated by the ATC, how fast they speak. And I ended up teaching her the aviation phonetic alphabet, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. If there are kids watching, start learning the phonetic alphabet. It's gonna come in handy. I mean, spell your name using the phonetic alphabet. And when you join aviation, things are gonna be easy for you. So yeah, my daughter inspires me to keep on keeping on each and every day. And I'm so grateful. Yes.
So precious, you have such a rich story. I don't even know where I should start, but what I'm more drawn to now, it's how you're such a leader. I think I accurately described you in the intro, that you come across as a person who takes leadership. I mean, there's so many things that happened that could have stopped you. Like you said, you just diverted. What kept you going? Because now in the generation of the millennial where everything is instant. If they don't become a musician tomorrow or become a private pilot tomorrow, they give up and then they do all sorts of stuff. So what did you tell yourself? What kept you going? You didn't have your mom around to tell you to keep going. You had a child on the way. Now you're in a foreign country. Now you have to do waitressing where sometimes you get rude comments. What really kept you going, and what can you advise the young girls here that listen, if it doesn't happen tomorrow or even in the next 10 years, what should keep you going?
I had a dream inside of me. When my mom passed away, I thought that dream was buried along with her, but something in me kept on saying, don't give up. I mean, yeah, I kept going. I kept going because I had siblings looking up to me and I couldn't disappoint them. So my advice, especially to aspiring pilots, is that when you join aviation school or any flight school, self-awareness, I'm going to speak about self-awareness. Self-awareness is vital. Know your strengths, know your shortcomings in order to improve and develop yourself. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I've seen a lot of people coming in with a lot of potential. They have aviation background, but they never make it to the end. They fail exams, not because they couldn't, but because they started hanging around with the wrong crowd. So my advice is that when you enroll, look at yourself in the mirror and remind yourself why you are there, why you enrolled, the sacrifices your parents went through to make sure that you enroll in a flight, because it's not cheap. So get yourself a mentor. I want to take this moment to thank one of my mentors in 43S school, Mr. Sean Schultz. I would go there crying and say, I didn't understand this. And he would spend hours and hours explaining something 10 times if it meant. He's so dedicated. My instructors, people like Charles Magagula, Ashley Cochrane, Mohammed Rahiman, I can name many, and Cynthia, she's among us here, Nyasha Manika. You need help. Seek help. Never be shy to seek help. And also surround yourself with friends that encourage you to study. Before even enrolling into aviation school, start being curious. Watch YouTube videos, download flight simulators, and do everything it is. That's what I want to say. And the reason why I was speaking also about self-awareness, there are going to be times where people are going to look at you and say, this is not for you. You are not cut out for this. You won't pass exams. When you know yourself, you're going to stand firm and say, no, I'm going to go and seek help. I'm going to stay behind in class. I'm going to do whatever it is because I know I can do this. If you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you?
Absolutely.
So strong faith is unyielding in face of negative situations. Strong faith doesn't stagger. You need to stand firm. If I did it, you surely can. Yes, you can.
Absolutely. And it also goes hand in hand with self-value. Because when you
Yes,
look at yourself, the resources you have as a young girl, as a woman, how much
yes,
do I value myself? Where, how far do I want to go in this life, in my career? So
yes.
thank you for that. That was so refreshing.
I
So
thank
you
you.
touched a bit on the mentorship. Please tell us more about your mentor, because I understand you have mentorship, you have an NGO that you're running. Can girls approach you, and at what platform can they approach you at? Are you focusing specifically on career or any fields?
On my Facebook, I have people looking up to me, people from the rural areas back in Zimbabwe. So they are in different fields. So it's people from any part of the world asking for advice. It can be personal things like, okay, I'm a nurse, I face these challenges. It's basically like, hey, you can do it, don't give up. If I did it, you surely can. That's what I use most of the times. So on my platform, yes, I do mentor some pilots. We are like currently trying to look for sponsorship programs because, I mean, financially, people are stranded at this moment due to COVID-19. And on my platform, I have people who did PPL and they're stuck there. And every day they message me, Precious, do you know anything? How can we continue from here? So I constantly do my research and approach certain organizations like African Leaders in Aviation. They want to grow me as well and teach me here and there, and I really appreciate. And yes, I opened also a website where we are looking into probably sponsors coming to us to say, hey, we can sponsor someone from your group. On my social media, I'm on Facebook under Pilot Precious Sivalo. I also have a website I'll share with you guys. On Instagram, I am Sivalo P. It's all about positivity.
Amazing, amazing work. And if any of you guys didn't catch that, we will be sharing all the details of these great ladies on our platforms. And also now you were a trailblazer. I mean, from farm life, city life, coming to South Africa and all of that. What challenges did you go through? Because again, it is possible, definitely. I mean, there's the ladies from airlines, we saw the drone ladies, you guys that we're talking to now. It is possible, however, there are challenges, and we communicate those challenges so that they know they'll go through them, but they will go through them. They don't stay there. They will go through
Exactly.
them,
Yes.
especially with our mentors and great women like you. So what challenges did you what kind of challenges did you go through? Because I seen your pictures when you graduated in Qatar. You were the only black lady in that picture. And never standing up like as a cabin crew and say, I actually want to become a pilot. So what kind of challenges? And also the second question I want to ask, being a woman who had to navigate into new spaces, places you
Yeah.
hadn't lived, being a trailblazer, what were the safety elements you had to consider, keeping yourself safe? Because now there's a problem of human trafficking, especially with girls. And I remember there was also stories of they use cabin crew recruitments to traffic girls and attract them to places. So can you please share about those two things?
Yes, of course, I did face challenges, especially when I enrolled into the flight school because I had zero knowledge. Yes, I was in aviation, but I didn't know about being a pilot. I used to watch the pilots and think, they're just having tea and coffee there in the flight deck, nothing major. But in, in reality, that's not the truth. When I enrolled and started the training, my goodness, it was hectic. I remember I didn't perform well on the campus test, and they told me, according to statistics, people who don't make it on this or who get these marks don't make it till the end. Those were the challenges that I faced, but that didn't stop me. Instead, I believe that success is small efforts repeated until they become a habit. So I made sure that I go through my work, seek help, like I said before. So yes, exams were challenging as well, having to study. We all know the CAA pass rate or pass mark is 75%. So I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? I have saved money, and am I gonna let it go down the drain? Because I mean, I had to pay for my daughter's school fees, make sure that my siblings also go to school. What have I done? Am I gonna pass these exams? But honestly, I just had to, I mean, I got so closer to God during training because I used to pray a lot and cry. Each and every time you have an exam or a flight test, you pray so hard. If there's anything I gain from
Of
this,
course.
it's also my spiritual life. many people would attest to this. I mean, you pray, you. So yes, I faced a lot of challenges, but as women, yes, it's not like we wouldn't say there are no challenges. There are challenges if we are to be honest. But I believe that we need to continue, expanding our knowledge so that we are knowledgeable. In case someone comes to you and says you don't know this, I would answer them and say, this is the answer. And that's how you gain, respect and just stay knowledgeable. That's something that I'm going to say through research and, getting yourself a mentor. Yes.
And the safety aspect for the young girls who are getting into, especially who are looking to getting into aviation through
yes.
cabin crew. And yes, please.
Yes, people need to do a lot of research and ask also from people like me, is this website really good or not? Because some people create fake websites, and that was the challenge. I remember at that moment, my family was worried when I was moving from South Africa to Dubai. They were like, are you sure? But I visited the offices and made sure that everything was in order. So I urge people to really do thorough research concerning certain websites, yes.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people are out there, especially now that people are looking for jobs, there are trusted places like Linked, but people just send messages there and say, I have this aircraft, come and fly, but it's not. So do your research. I know people are, stranded right now. They need jobs, but be careful. Yes.
And that's one thing. Absolutely. And that's one thing that we encourage the young girls in African Leaders in Aviation. Please read, and get someone to read it over with you.
Yes.
Because also with bursaries and scholarships, a lot of these ladies, they found them through newspapers. It didn't just fall on their lap or someone came and told them, listen, here's an opportunity. You check through the net, you check advertisements, you check through the organizations. There are so many aviation organizations, not only in Africa, but there are a lot more also in international spaces that are willing even to sponsor African young people. So absolutely read and do your research. I agree on that point.
Yes.
So, Precious, please take us through your typical day. What do you do? Are you studying full time in your instructor's rating? Are you flying?
Okay, I am currently studying so I can get my exams done while I am building hours. While I'm building hours, I'm sorry about that. While I'm building hours, so typically I wake up. I'm a night owl, so I sleep late, especially if I don't have a flight in the morning. So I prefer getting my work done at night when there's peace and quiet. I concentrate better at that time. So yeah, I'm one who wakes up at around 8, sometimes get coffee, and I'm always busy. Like I said, sometimes I wake up, someone is asking me, hey, what are flaps? So you see, what I love about what I'm doing is it keeps me on my toes. So I also have to search because I can't just answer someone, So I really love what I'm doing because it's just keeping me on my toes. I stay knowledgeable in aviation. So I'm also very adventurous. I go bungee jumping, I go zip lining, quad biking. Those who know me know I'm full of energy and I'm an adrenaline junkie. I also went for helicopter ride recently, and so I'm someone who just doesn't like being idle because they say an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So
so your typical days are really fun.
yes.
So then you love studying. I see. I mean, you spoke about your school days. One thing that would like to emphasize as well as STEM programs. What subjects did you focus on whilst you were at school, and what the challenges now in your studies that you are encountering now that you wish you maybe focused on back in high school, just to give the girls a bit of an idea of if they want to get into aviation, do they have to do maths, do they have to do science, or what subjects can help them get to where they want to be?
Yeah, mostly basic understanding of English, math, and science. Can be physics, it can be just science, integrated science, depending on the country where you're coming from. But I didn't have mathematics. That was the challenge. So I had to work extra hard. Honestly, that was the challenge I spoke about earlier, speaking of exams. But in those exams where there was mathematics, because I did seek help, I was getting like 90% going up. So never let that, what can I say, discourage you. So go for it. If you have basic mathematics understanding, it's okay, go for it, but work hard. So yes, we want to encourage a lot of girls to engage in science, technology, engineering, mathematics sectors. And this is exactly what I'm doing even back in my home country. I go back, recently I'm gonna go back to my primary school where I went to and just expose them to aviation. I traded my birthday gifts for sanitary pads for the girl child, school books, exercise books, school shoes. I'm gonna go there for the reach out and equip these kids, they are less privileged with necessary equipment to better their future, and also introduce them to aviation. So we need to grow and expand aviation in Africa, yes,
That is
without gender
amazing.
discrimination. Yes, yes.
Absolutely. You're doing amazing, amazing work. And one of my favorite things about you is that you're such a giver. You give off yourself. You've come this far and you just want to turn around and give back to where you come from and look
Thank
behind you and see who can you can help. And this is the kind of networks that we're excited to make here in African Leaders in Aviation. So
thank you
before
so
we
much.
round up everything, I love that you flew with your daughter. That is, I can only imagine how excited she was looking at her mom. I mean, at home she's like, yeah, mom, whatever. But didn't she respect you a little bit more when you brought her back to the ground alive and see you take off and land? What did it do to her? And what did it influence her to now get into aviation or study anything along STEM? Tell us about that.
She's still trying to think where exactly her passion lies, because I always tell her it's about passion. So it's not about, because my mom is a pilot, now I also want to be a pilot. That would be great. But what exactly do you want? So she's still thinking and considering aviation as well. She wants to be a pilot for now. So yeah, she started learning the alphabet as well. She was really fascinated, especially about the communication between the pilots and the air traffic controllers. She was like, Mom, they are so fast. I said, no, it's with time, you're gonna learn. Honestly, we had fun. I practiced stalls, steep turns, and I gave her the control. It was just the two of us on a Cessna 172, and it is empowering for her. Now, even, when we speak with people, she's like, no, Mom, tell them this, like that. Now she's even assisting me because she has understanding of aviation, how everything works. And that is amazing. Now we are able to do that, to our children. There are a lot of people looking up to us. When I ventured into this, I only had people in Qatar to say, hey, how do I do this? Some were Arabs, some were, they never really understood my background. But now I am out there saying to someone, I am here if you need, assistance, or if you have any questions. So at least now we have the internet and platforms like African Leaders in Aviation. Yes, so we appreciate.
Thank you so much. I know I said that was the last question, but I have such a passion about youth taking leadership about their lives. And just one more point, please just define what a leader is, especially for young African youth. We're such brilliant bunch of youth. We have so much talent, but most of them are seeking to take it out of the continent. So please just describe what being a leader is, and how do you really set a path for a generation that follows? Do something that is meaningful and that will stay the test of time.
I'll start it off as I will say we rise by lifting others. If you are a leader and you believe that you have to look back and hold someone's hand, that's being a leader. You know, you need to be a leader that way, leading people. Uh, Apologies, leading people by setting an example, because now my story is an example. I decided to be an instructor so I can learn more and expand my knowledge, because how can I teach someone when I don't understand the concept myself? You know, so that's why, yes, I'm into this
Also,
now.
you mentioned that success is small steps until it becomes a habit, and I just wrote it down because it really said something to me. And yeah, so thank you very much, Precious. You have an amazing story. I even shared in the chat that I was crying with one eye, but I had to hide it. Yeah.
Thank
So
you
thank
so
you very
much,
much also,
Precious.
Cody. We're going to have a break until actually 11:45, and by that time we'll have women in the Air Force with our moderator as Lati. So see you at 11:45. Enjoy the break. See you.